Welcome to fourth grade language. This is lesson 154. This is Friday, so you are on your last day of the week. And so we are going to be looking at a couple different things. First of all, you do have a quiz. Pardon me. Quiz 21. It is on subject-verb agreement, exactly what we've been doing, okay? So I said that I was going to go over Think C, the answers to Think C, with you today, that were your homework. I'm also going to go over Think A, just to help with that is and are, okay? So, we did number 1, it was is, okay? Number 2 is are. Number 3 is are. Number 4 is. 5 is. 6 is also is, and 7 is are, okay? So that's Think A. Let's just run through Think B as well, and then we'll do Think C. Then I'll let you go take that quiz, and then we'll get into the new stuff today, okay? So we did number 1, it was singular. Number 2, prayer does, is singular. 3 is singular. 4 and 5 are plural. 6 and 7 are plural. 8 is singular. 9 is plural, and 10 is singular. So correct those if you got them wrong, and then you may need to take a few minutes to study some of these if you before you take the quiz. And then Think C. Do, does, do, does, do. Okay, so that's Think C, going straight down. So back up the video if you need to hear those again. And then in Write D, the only one that you needed to know the word was ladies. The plural of lady is ladies, L-A-D-I-E-S. Okay, so there's your check on page 236. You may pause the video, take your quiz on subject-verb agreement, and then we're going to look at sit and set as soon as you come back. All right, I hope you did well on that quiz. We're going to start with this sentence up here, A, that has a lot missing from it. It doesn't have any punctuation. It doesn't have any capitalization. So we are going to do all of that, all right? So first of all, we're going to read the sentence. I said, please buy me a burger, fries, and a milkshake, Dad. Okay, so there's your sentence. We need to know what punctuation we need and what capitalization. Okay, so the very first word in a sentence gets capitalized, right? Okay, I'm gonna underline it 3 times to make it capital, okay? I said, okay, this word tells us that someone's talking, right? So what usually goes around words that someone says? Quotation marks, okay? So, and we also need a comma right here, okay? So I said, comma, quotation marks, and then the first word of a quotation, or what someone says, needs to be what? Capitalized, okay? So please also needs to be capitalized, okay? Please buy me a burger, fries, and a milkshake, Dad, okay? So after the word please, what do we need? A comma, okay? Actually, no, I'm sorry, we don't need a comma there. I got that wrong. Okay, so please buy me a burger, fries, and a milkshake. So there are some things that are items in a series, right? Because it's not a burger fries, is it? So what do we need after a burger? A comma, okay? We've done these before, so I am going a little bit faster on this because we have done them. So hopefully you're understanding this. If you're really struggling with this one, let me know. Okay, but fries, you would also put a comma after, and a milkshake. And then we're talking to Dad, right? So we need a comma. And if we're talking to him as if we would say a name, we can put his name in there. My dad's name is Tim. So I said, please buy me a burger, fries, and a milkshake, Tim, which I would not call my dad that. But if you can put his name in there, then you would capitalize that one as well. And then quotation marks at the end and a period because it is an imperative sentence, okay? because it would be you is the subject of that sentence. Okay, so that's how to fix this one. And now we're going to look at sit and set and the difference between the two. So we have this troublesome verb chart. Let's see if we make sure you can see it all. Okay, set, the meaning of set, we got the meaning, the principal parts, and we use it in a sentence. We'll do the same for sit, okay? And then there will be lie and lay and rise and raise, and we'll look at those ones, but we're gonna start with these first two today. If you set, it's to put or place something, okay? And the principal parts are set, setting, set, have set. Set the table for dinner, okay? You're setting the table. You're putting and placing things on the table. That's what it means, okay? Sit, however, means to rest or to be seated. Its principal parts are sit, sitting, sat, have sat. Okay, I sit beside Kim in chapel. All right? You are doing the action in this one. In this one, you're doing the action to something else, okay? The plates, you're putting the plates on the table, so you're setting them on the table. That's the difference with these. These ones are some of the hardest. These troublesome verbs, the reason we call them troublesome is because a lot of people get these ones wrong. They look at this and they just say whichever one they think sounds good. And a lot of times they pick the wrong one, okay? You wouldn't say, set yourself down here, or set down here, because you're doing the action, so you should sit down here, okay? The verb, at the top, we've got a few more sentences I'll read, because I've read what's in blue, but I'll read these. Tim and I sit in the same row. Tim is sitting 2 seats behind me. He sat there last month also. He has sat there all year, okay? And then set these heavy grocery sacks down. Luke is setting my hat on the shelf. Yesterday, Ella set the baby in Grandpa's lap. I have always set my umbrella in the rack. After using a form of the verb set, you always need to name the object you are placing. You never sit something, but you always have to set something. The objects which are being put or placed in the above sentences are in dark print, okay? So look back at those sentences. Set these heavy grocery sacks down. What are you setting? The sacks, right? Okay, Luke is setting my hat on the shelf. What is Luke setting? The hat, right? Yesterday, Ella set the baby in Grandpa's lap. Setting the baby, right? I have always set my umbrella in the rack. The umbrella, okay? So you found the object, okay? So that is one thing that we can look for, is if there is an object that is being set down or set somewhere. If there's no object and the subject is doing the action, then it is sit, or a form of sit, okay? All right, so looking at A, we're gonna do A1 together. We will blank here until dinner time, okay? Would we use sit or set? We will sit here until dinner time. We will set here until dinner time. So you can look, is there an object that is being put or placed? No, there is not. So which one are we supposed to use? Sit, okay? We will sit here until dinner time, all right? Let's do 2 together as, actually, no, let's do 3 together. We'll do 3. So I'll skip 2, I'll let you do 2. Would you please blank, sit or set the box down over by the barrel, okay? Is there something that would be put or placed somewhere? The box, right? So circle box, and which one would we use? If it's put or place, we use set. would you please set the box down over by the barrel? Okay, so in these sentences, you are putting sit or set in the blank or a form of it. So it could be any one of the principal parts. Okay, it could be set, setting, set, have set, sit, sitting, sat, have sat. And it will, if you see have, you're going to use sat or set. Okay, so this is going to be in the sentence. They'll already have the have in the sentence, has or have or has. And then you're going to circle the object if it is a form of set, okay? So you're going to finish that exercise. Don't forget to go back to number 2. Think B is the same thing, only they give you the two options. So set, sat, sit, sat, sit, set. One of those options. They give you the option, and you're still going to circle the objects that, if there is one. So let's do 1 and 2 together. Okay, so number 1, I set or sat alone during the meeting. Okay, so is the subject doing the action, or is there something being put or placed somewhere? The subject's doing the action, right? Because I am physically alone during the meeting. I'm not, and so would we use set or sat? We'd use sat, right? Because that's the form of sit and sat. Okay, so you underline sat, and so since it's a form of sit, we don't have an object, right? So number 2, let's look at that. Sally set or sat her kitten in its basket. Okay, so is Sally doing the action where she's actually sitting, or is she putting or placing something? It's put or place, right? What is she put or placing? She's putting the kitten, right? So kitten gets circled, and so then which one are we doing? Set, okay? Underline set, and circle kitten, all right? And on these, you don't have to underline it 2 times, you just underline it once, is all that's necessary, okay? And then, all right, so we'll look at the look closely box, so you'll finish that think exercise. Besides meaning to put or place something, the verb set has come to have some special uses in our language. Can you explain what set means in each of the following sentences, okay? The sun sets in the west. Set the table for supper. The doctor set Mary's broken bone. Uncle John has set his traps for the night. Lucy is our setting hen. Jamie set his watch. Grandmother is setting her hair. The Jell-O is not set yet. Okay? So set has lots and lots of meanings other than to put or place. We are mostly looking at putting or placing things, but when it says the sun sets in the west, it means that the sun just like sets down in the west. It's a very it's a unique way for that to happen. Setting the table means that you're putting dishes on the table for the meal, right? The doctor set Mary's broken bone. That means it puts it back in place. Setting traps means to get them ready for an animal to come, and so whether it's a cage trap or a trap that catches the leg. The setting hen, that means they're setting the laying the eggs is what that means. Setting a watch is to the time, and then grandmother setting her hair means that she's putting curlers in it so that it will do what she wants. And the Jello set up yet, so it's like it's not formed yet. So did you know that many college dictionaries devote almost an entire page to defining the word set? That's a lot. You can check the dictionaries that we had sent home and see how many places have set in your dictionary. That would be an interesting thing to look up. Okay, so on write C, it says on notebook paper, write 3 sentences using sit, set, and sat. Okay, so 1 word per sentence. Okay, so a sentence was sit, sentence was set, and the sentence was sat. Okay, and then remember D, look for errors in punctuation and capitalization. Write C for correct or I for incorrect in the blank, okay? So you don't have to correct them, you just write C or I. So if there is something that needs to be put in there or taken away, then you put incorrect, you put I. If it's completely correct, you put C, okay? All right, so that's what you're doing for language today. Hope you did well on the quiz earlier, and if you haven't taken that, take time to do that. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at lie and lay, or the next lesson, I'm sorry, that should be Monday, but we're going to look at lie and lay and see the difference between the two. All right, have a good evening.